The head saw even to the uttermost farthing, and his mouth twitched a little under his moustache. "Send them to me at once, Sergeant. This case needn't wait over." "Good evening," he said, when the three appeared under escort. "I want your undivided attention for a few minutes. You've known me for 5 years, and I've known you for 25. I think we understand one another perfectly. I am now going to pay you a tremendous compliment. The brown one, please. Sergeant, thanks. You needn't wait. I'm going to execute you without rhyme, Beetle, or reason. I know you went to Colonel Dabney's covers because you were invited. I'm not even going to send the sergeant with a note to ask if your statement is true, because I'm convinced that on this occasion you have adhered strictly to the truth. I know, too, that you are not drinking. You can take off that virtuous expression, McTurk, or I shall begin to fear you don't understand me. There's not a flaw in any of your characters, and that is why I am going to perpetrate a howling injustice. Your reputations have been injured, have they? You have been disgraced before the house, haven't you? You have a particular keen regard for the honor of your house, haven't you? Well, now I am going to lick you. 6 apiece was their portion upon that word. And this, I think," the head replaced the cane and flung the written charge into the waste-paper basket, "covers the situation. When you find a variation from the normal, this will be useful to you in later life. Always meet him in a normal way. And that reminds me, there are a pile of paper backs on that shelf. You can borrow them if you can put them back. I don't think they'll take any harm from being read in the open. They smell of tobacco, rather. You will go to prep this evening as usual. Good night," said the amazing man. "Good night. Thank you, sir." "I swear I'll pray to the head tonight," said Beetle. "Those last 2 cuts were just flicks on my collar. There's Monte Cristo on that lower shelf. I saw it. Bag's eye. Next time we go to Aves." "Dear man," said McTurk. "No grating, no impots, no beastly questions. All settled. Hullo! What's King going in to him for? King and Prout?" Whatever the nature of that interview, it did not improve either King or Prout's ruffled plumes, for, when they came out of the head's house, 6 eyes noted that the one was red and blue with emotions as to his nose, and the other was sweating profusely. The sight compensated them amply for the imperial jaws on which they were favored by the 2. It seemed, and who so astonished as they, that they had held back material facts, that they were guilty both of suppressio vere and suggesto falsi, well-known gods against whom they often offended. Further, that they were maligned in their dispositions, untrustworthy in their characters, pernicious and revolutionary in their influences, abandoned to the devils of willfulness, pride, and a most intolerable conceit. Ninthly and lastly, they were to have a careful and very they were to have a care and to be very careful. They were careful, as only boys can be when there is a hurt to be inflicted. They waited through one suffocating week till Prout and King were their royal selves again, waited till there was a house match, their own house too, in which Prout was taking part, waited further till he buckled on his pads in the pavilion and stood ready to go forth. King was scoring at the window, and the 3 sat on a bench without. Said Stlky to Beetle, "I say, Beetle, quis cutius ipso custius?" "Don't ask me," said Beetle. "I've nothing private with you. You can be as private as you please the other end of the bench, and I wish you a very good afternoon." McTurk yawned. "Well, you should have come up to the lodge like Christians instead of chasing your boys through the length and breadth of my covers. I think that these house matches are all rot. Let's go over to Colonel Dabney's and see if he's collared any more poachers." That afternoon there was joy in the Aves.